Oceans, and welcome to Schooling Around. Chinese visitors doing some school shopping. The CSI comes to LES, a visit with a weatherman, and hooking up with a jazz legend. More after this.
Because I love sports. I've been involved in educational athletics all my life, and I like to give back to the kids and the athletes and the parents and the school.
And there was guys that were nice enough to do it and volunteer their time when I was a kid coming through school, so I'm just paying it forward.
I like the things that officiating gives to officials: confidence, decision-making abilities, be able to work in teams.
You can be a referee.
Our international student program has gotten a lot of press recently. We have got over 90 kids in the program now. Not long ago, a group of Chinese parents and students arrived in Oxford to check us out. Not just us, but several other schools as well. You need to know that sending a student to school in this country isn't cheap for these parents, and they choose very carefully. Greg Henry works for the Wei Ming organization. He's their director of academic programs.
Yes. So we have 6 or 7 campuses throughout China, and these students are looking for a chance to come to the U.S. and get a U.S. high school diploma and improve their English with the goal of moving on towards university here. So this is an opportunity for us to work with partner schools and kind of support them academically and kind of holistically as a person. And the students are here and doing well and thriving, really.
And how do they look at this opportunity? I mean, what is the advantage that they see about coming here to study?
I think some of the advantages they see are the support that we provide. So there are lots of students who want to come to the U.S., but a lot of times don't necessarily have the pathway or know exactly how to go about it. It's the same thing when they look at how to attend university in the United States. They really don't understand how the system works. And so we were really able to provide wraparound support that helps them meet their educational goals. So whether that's coming here and getting a high school diploma to meet the Oxford High School graduation requirements in this case, or other partner schools, or applying to the university, having the guidance counselors here that help them with that process. It's the support along the way. We help them with after school with their classes, so academic support. We provide college preparation support, whether that's preparing for the ACT or TOEFL test, SAT, or whether that's helping them understand how the process works, select appropriate colleges, those kinds of things.
Okay, but in general, what do they see the advantage to be in studying in the United States, starting in their junior year of high school when they come over here and then through the university level?
I think that they see the value of a Western education and the diploma and kind of the cachet that brings them, the ones that go back to China. Other students kind of see an opportunity to do something different. So the Chinese system is a standardized education system based on one college entrance exam at the end of high school that determines their entire future. So some of the students that come here really need a different environment to thrive. They need something where they're allowed differentiated instruction and kind of different methods of teaching and pedagogy, and it really allows them to succeed and to kind of find their own path.
And we should point out that, well, first of all, the reason you're here today is a group of students and their parents from China who are thinking about studying in this country are making the rounds at several schools, right? 12 different schools, as I understand,
Correct.
In our area?
Yeah, we have about 30 parents and students that are here from China that are visiting a number of our partner schools and kind of seeing the difference, the similarities and differences of American high schools. Correct.
And we should point out that this is not a free thing for these parents. It costs them a lot of money to send their kids to school in this country.
Right. The parents, the families there really kind of view education as an investment. So culturally, education is highly prized, and a lot of times families because they only have one child, they really kind of see the education of that one child as paramount to all other things, and so we'll really invest heavily in that. Yeah.
What are they looking for when they tour these 12 schools?
I think a lot of them, it's their first time here to the U.S. seeing American high school, so they really kind of want to understand. They're curious to see students moving back and forth between classes, because in China the students stay in one class all day long and the teachers move. They like to see the different curriculum offerings that we have, what classes are there, kind of the individual differences and just the slight nuances that make this high school different from the other high schools, those kinds of things.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot. You're going around to all these schools, right? You're familiar with a lot of different schools.
I am.
How are we looking these days?
I think that Oxford does a fabulous job, has a wonderful series of programs. I'm an Oxford resident. My kids are in Oxford schools, and we're very happy with the education that they're receiving here. So I think that Oxford can go toe-to-toe with any of the schools around here.
Locally, Chun Chun Tang helps to run our international program. She talks about the visit.
Well, we were very excited to welcome a group of prospective students and parents who are visiting from China. One of our partner schools in China, Weiming, from Guangzhou and Shenzhen in particular, the two cities, this morning. We were able to give them a tour of the high school, and the parents and the students asked a lot of good questions, and they're very excited about the possibility of coming to study at Oxford in the fall.
But now these kids and their parents, they're going to see 12 schools in all while they're over here, aren't they?
That is correct. This is part of their winter camp experience, because schools in China are currently off for winter break. So this group of students and parents came to the United States with the very purpose of checking out many American high schools to make a more informed decision about where to attend in the fall.
Now, I viewed some of the meeting that you had, and obviously it was all in Chinese, so I couldn't understand it. But what are some of the typical questions that you get from the parents when in a setting like this?
On the parent side, they care about the academic experience of the students, in particular to class size, program offerings, and also the support and guidance we have for college applications. Because all of these students, after they complete their high school experience in Oxford or at another American high school, they do want to go on to universities and colleges in the United States.
And we need to point out that this is a big investment for those parents, because it's not free for those kids to come here. It costs a lot of money.
That's correct. For the students that are attending Oxford High School, the international students are tuition paying students. They do not compete with FTE, and these students, whether for attending the high school or going on as international students to an American college, the financial investment and sacrifice from their family is tremendous.
What would you say the biggest concern is with the parents about making this choice, which school to send their kids to?
I think the parents, because this is a significant investment, they want to make sure that there's a return on the investment. What I mean by that is that the parents want to make sure that their students are properly supported when they're here, whether it's from an English enhancement standpoint or from their other core content subjects, that they can be successful and they can be supported with a professional team like the high school administration and the international program team here at Oxford.
That's one of our international coordinators, Chun Chun Tang. Next, CSI comes to Lakeville Elementary.
Carly is so gonna get a tweet. Oh my gosh. How could she? Everyone's gonna see this. Her life is over.
As you can see, cyberbullying can happen in any ways and at any time.
Carly, are you okay? Yeah, it's just this girl posted this picture of me, and she said it's something that's so not true.
I'm so sorry. I can help you.
When cyberbullied, always tell an adult. Silence only helps the bully.
Help stop cyberbullying! Turn it off!
There's a lot of concern about internet safety these days. It seems to be a problem that only gets worse. Because of that, The Michigan Attorney General's office has put together a number of programs addressing this issue. Nancy Bergeson recently visited Lakeville Elementary and tells us about some of the programs.
I actually work 2 programs. I work with school-age children starting in grades kindergarten on up through 12th grade with our Michigan CSI Cyber Safety Initiative, and now our new OK to Say program, which is dealing with safety program throughout the state with all our school-age children. And then I also work for, as I mentioned before, consumer protection. So I actually work with seniors to help them avoid being scammed.
Okay. Now, you're here in Oxford today to give a presentation to elementary school kids, right?
That's correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Our program, OK to Say, is a combination, as I mentioned before, of Cyber Safety Initiative, how to stay safe when the children are using technology, and then our OK to Say program, which launched in September of 2014. This is a statewide program that children, it's a tip line that children can actually contact anytime they feel unsafe or if they know of an unsafe situation in their school. It's a confidential tip site where when they call or text in, their identity is actually protected. There's a law in the state of Michigan that protects their identity. So it's confidential, and it's operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year.
What site would that be?
We actually have an app that they can put on smartphones. It's OK to Say. We have a website. They also have the ability to text in.
Okay. Now, you folks, did you put on a presentation for adults as well? I understand there's going to be one later tonight.
We do. We like to talk to the parents to give them some of the information we feel they need to help keep their child or children safe. So we do about an hour presentation with parents.
Wow. And I gotta think that your job is not getting any easier.
I've been with the Attorney General since about 2009, and we continually update and keep very current with some of the changes with technology. So we are able to give the information that's needed to the students to help keep them safe.
And there's a program involving seniors too that you mentioned. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I work with seniors throughout the state, and we actually have 6 different presentations that we can give. They have the option of selecting. 2 of the more popular presentations that I give are identity theft and then also phone and mail scams. And unfortunately, our seniors throughout the state are being targeted with some of the scams that are happening. So we go in and we actually give them the information that they need to help keep them from being scammed.
There's a lot of ways people are trying to get your money, aren't there?
They absolutely are. And
especially seniors.
They're an easy target. They're a very kind and generous generation, and unfortunately they fall prey to a lot of scams. So we want to help keep them safe and make sure that no one does get their money.
Every time I see different things myself on the internet, I think there's some warning signs that you got to get used to watching for, aren't there?
Technology is getting more challenging all the time. Scammers and tricksters are very proficient in getting onto technology and doing things that they shouldn't do. So.
And sometimes you get emails that really look official, like they're really from the company that they pretend to represent, but there's certain things people just don't email you about, right?
It happens to the best of us. In fact, I fell for an email scam when my husband was working for his company. He had a lot of deliveries coming in from UPS, and I received an email that he had a delivery coming with a tracking number, and I actually clicked on that tracking number, and it actually put a Trojan virus on my computer, shut it down totally. Wow. So it does happen. We all have to be very careful as to what we open and where we go when we use technology.
That's Nancy Bergeson from Attorney General Bill Schutte's office. Next, a check on the weather. Stay tuned.
Canine Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Each year they take in hundreds of dogs and bring them into suitable homes. certified nonprofit organization, Canine Dog Rescue strives to give pound dogs a new leash on life. To donate, adopt, or even volunteer, call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website, dogsaver.org, and click on the Canine Stray Rescue League link.
Daniel Axford Elementary had a visit from the weatherman a few days ago. Rich Pullman is a meteorologist for the National Weather Service in White Lake. He tells us more.
We have a staff of about 24 people, about 15 meteorologists. We work 2 to 3 people per shift, and we work 24/7. We all know weather happens all the time, so we got to be ready to issue those watches and warnings 24/7 every day of the year. We also have a staff of electronic technicians, a lot of computer equipment that we need to stay up and running, whether it's hardware or software. So all told, about 24 people at our office.
How big of an area do you guys cover with that particular office?
Yeah, we cover all of Southeast Michigan. We go from the tip of the thumb, Midland Bay City, Saginaw, down through Flint, Metro Detroit, down to the Ohio border.
Okay. Now, please, tell me about this program where you come into the schools.
Yeah, we have an extensive outreach program where we'll talk to anyone that's interested in weather. We will talk to school kids. We want to teach them weather safety and just some of the general conditions that we can expect here in Michigan. We'll also talk to pilots, boaters, civic groups. We have spotter training. We'll talk to media and emergency management. So we have an extensive outreach program.
But this is great where you come into the elementary schools and talk to the little kids. How many schools in our area do you visit?
Well, we're pretty much down to about 25 to 30 school talks a year. Some of that's on school availability. Some of it's on our availability. It's kind of a first come first serve what we can do.
And what would you say your primary goal is in talking to these little children?
Primary goal is to talk about weather safety. So when the severe weather events happen, that one, they're not scared of them, and two, that they can act in a way that can get them to safety, and also to engage their parents to make sure their parents know about weather safety.
I noticed you were talking about the weather radio. That's a pretty important thing, isn't it?
Weather radio is really so important. It should be in every home. It should be just as important as the smoke detector. The tornado sirens are great if you're outside to hear them, but they're not designed to be heard inside a building. Television and radio is a great way to get the warning information, but you have to have the television and radio on. The weather radio will make an alarm sound as loud as your smoke detector. You can buy them so they're programmable, so they only go off for the warnings that you want. And so when it goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know you gotta get your family to safety.
Now, do all the stations around here, the TV and radio, do they basically get their information from you guys? Is that how that works?
They're going to get their warning information from us. Congress has dictated and mandated that we're the authority when it comes to watch warnings and advisories. For your day-to-day forecast, the computer model data, the observational data is coming from the Weather Service, but anyone can use that data to make their own forecast.
Okay, what does it take to become a meteorologist?
All right, for meteorology, some sort of schooling. Most of the meteorologists in the Weather Service have at least a 4-year bachelor degree, and then there are advanced degrees. There's also military trained meteorologists, but again, there is schooling involved to become a scientist to study meteorology.
Meteorologist Rich Pullman over at Daniel Axford. Next, a jazz legend comes to Oxford.
Hey Leonard, you're watching OCTV.
So what would you say if you got a call offering us the chance to have an award-winning Jazz Hall of Fame pianist pay a visit? Our jazz band director, John Hill, knew exactly what to say.
Well, it was a great day when they called me from Michigan State University and asked me if we would consider hosting Kenny Barron and the Michigan State University Jazz Octet for a performance at our beautiful auditorium. And I knew we have just a great facility and an amazing grand piano that Kenny Barron could play. And I know it'd be a great opportunity for our students to not only perform at the concert, but also get to hear one of the greatest jazz artists of all time.
And this is part of a bigger program to promote jazz in general in the schools, isn't it?
Yes, we're not only doing this concert, but we perform several times a year. We're looking at going to the State Jazz Festival this year down in Royal Oak. And Mr. Jollis, our new middle school band director, has started a middle school jazz band. It might be the first time they've ever done that. So we're really starting to build a jazz community here.
This is part of a special program through Michigan State University. Max Colley III is their jazz event coordinator. He explains.
The MSU FCU, the Michigan State University Federal Credit Union, gave the jazz department $1 million endowment. And what that Professor Whitaker, who's the head of jazz studies, he came up with a plan to go do side-by-side concerts with schools like yours here at Oxford. And we partner with the kids and do a lot of outreach and education, and then bring in some of the world's finest musicians to have them have that opportunity to have that access to them and do a night concert. And some schools choose to charge for that, and then they can keep all the money for their program, and others just want to give back to the community and let them come for that. So it's really a beautiful project that we have going here.
How long is this program been going?
We're in our third year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how many schools will you be hitting here on this tour?
On this tour, typically we do a press day on a Monday, and then we do rehearsals on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we're out. Friday is always on campus for our MSU community. But then, so yeah, about 4 or 5 different schools.
Do you have a hard time talking these guys into participating?
Not too much. No, they're always eager to join in. So.
Because I know Kenny's got a busy schedule. He's going to Europe after this, and he's...
Right. That's the main issue, is just trying to have them fit it into their schedule where they can take a week off. But you know, this is music that's passed down from generation to generation. That's how they learned, is somebody helped teach them, and so they're really eager to help others learn this music, jazz.
And how do the kids feel about this? Well, some of them are Michigan State jazz students. Not bad. Traveling with Kenny Barron?
This is exciting for me personally. Growing up, I used to check out a lot of records, and I'd see Mr. Barron's name on the records, and having the opportunity to just experience music with a living legend and watch how he approaches everything and how seamlessly and effortlessly he performs it's an amazing experience.
And how about the aspect of conveying all this to high school kids?
Oh, I love it. I remember when I was in high school at Civic in Detroit, and they brought in Terrence Blanchard and some really great artists, and changed my life completely. Wow. To see the legends play live. So
how many schools are you guys going to when doing this?
I do believe it's 3, and we're going to perform at the Carr Center in Detroit.
And as far as our own Oxford kids go, wow. What do you think about playing with Kenny Barron?
It's pretty great. It's really amazing to play with somebody that good.
A really amazing opportunity.
So do any of you guys aspire to do this in college? Or?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, are you a senior, or?
I'm actually a junior, but I'm looking forward to doing my musical career in college and all that. So.
Got a college in mind?
Not yet, but I'm looking at a college that's all music and all that, so I can pursue my bass career and all that.
Hey, all right. Okay. Have you ever had an opportunity like this before here at Oxford with an artist coming to town like this?
This is a first for me. I mean, this is an awesome experience just to play with someone that's done this for a long time, and there's just no words to describe tonight.
Well, not only that, but it's good to mix it up with some of the Michigan State guys too, right?
Oh yeah,
they're really guys are pretty good.
They're really great.
It's really cool because you get to hear people after they're out of high school and they have more experience than us. So it's I don't know, shows us what we could be.
Are any of you guys thinking seriously of studying music after high school?
Well, I don't want to like give it up, but I don't think I'd be able to major in it. So.
Yeah.
I think same. Yeah.
Ah, what instrument do you play?
Clarinet and sort of clarinet.
Are you all clarinetists?
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
But we play the same parts.
Ah, you don't like those reeds, huh? And then there's the master himself, Mr. Kenny Barron. First of all, Kenny, I just want to say welcome to Oxford. We're honored that
Thank
a
you.
fellow as famous and busy as you were able to take enough time to stop at our little community. It's an honor to have
Well,
you.
it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
I just have to ask you, after reading some information on the internet about your biography and so forth, I noticed that it took a while for you to make up your mind to continue your education, to go to college. I was just wondering what made you decide to do that, because you were doing pretty well on your own before.
Yeah, I was. I was working with Yusuf Lateef, who was from Detroit, and he kind of encouraged me to go back to school, you know, because he did himself. So he encouraged me to go back to school, and I did. I went to first to Manhattan Community College and got an associate's degree, and then some years later I went to State University of New York and got a bachelor's degree.
And now you're teaching too, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I've been teaching. I actually started teaching in 1973 at Rutgers University, and I was there for 25 years. You know, and actually retired from there, and then I got a call from Manhattan School of Music to teach part-time, which I did, and then same time, a year later, I got a call from Juilliard. So for a while I was doing both, Juilliard and Manhattan School of Music.
Now, you're a busy guy. I mean, I look at your concert schedule and I see that you're going to be going off to Europe here pretty soon.
Right.
What inspires you to get involved with the kids like this?
Well, it's first of all hearing them, because they're really incredible. It's giving back. It's also helping to perpetuate the music, to keep the music alive and happening. So I think it's important to do that. And these young players are really incredible, as you can hear.
And you know, jazz, of course, is about music from the heart, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Is that hard to teach?
I can't give it to you. So yeah, it is hard to teach. You know, it's you kind of have to come to the table with it. You know, or the other thing is that one thing you can learn is to be more responsive, to deal with emotion more so than intellect. And that for me, that's what music is about. It's more about emotion than intellect. But I mean, ideally, you need both.
Was music a big part of your childhood?
Oh yeah. I started studying piano when I was 6.
Did you have relatives who played?
I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and everybody played piano. You know, but only myself and my oldest brother became professional musicians.
Now, if memory serves, you've had about 40 albums of your own, plus performing on another 40 or so. What was your greatest jazz inspiration?
Oh, that's hard to say, but you know, they've all been great inspirations, but highlights have been like Dizzy Gillespie and Stan Getz, Yusuf Lateef, Ron Carter, who was another Detroit person. You know, so those have been some highlights.
What was your happiest performance that you can remember? What sticks out in your mind? You've got a lot to choose from.
Yes, over 50 years. It's hard to say what that is. I mean, I can recall one night working with Freddie Hubbard. That was at a club called Slugs in New York. That was really, really exceptional. You know, and the band kind of caught fire that particular night, and it was almost a transcending kind of experience. You know, and that's the thing that keeps you playing, you want to reach that level again. And you know, so again, that's the thing. You keep reaching for that, and that's what keeps you playing. You're trying to find that.
During the afternoon clinic, the kids got to ask Kenny questions. The final one was a request to play a song. Thanks, Kenny. And thanks to Kyle at the controls, Dan Zweiss at the editing desk, and you for watching. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.